He's Mike. I'm Tony, and we are here to do a quick and dirty. And this time we are going international. Yes, like the coffee. Yes, like the House of Pancakes. We are going worldwide. And we are going to be talking about a Korean horror film that can currently be watched on Netflix known as The Call. Um, this was Mike's pick. He discovered this one, recommended it to me. We watched it. And we said, "Don't say anything. We'll make an episode."
Yeah.
Take it away.
Actually, this one was recommended to me from Scott, who you guys will remember from the
Crossroads.
yeah, the Crossroads episode. Thank you. He was our musical expert. Scott is also a I should say Korean, but Asian horror aficionado. So if we recommend something, I'll take a watch, and I gotta agree with him. I dug this movie. It is a slow burn, to be for sure.
Yeah.
But once it gets going, about about 30 minutes in, you get a little weird creeping in,
Yeah.
and then it picks up, and by the end, it's fucking just batshit fucking crazy. No holds barred. Again, I dug it. Now I watched a dub version of it. Did you watch a dub version? Or did you go subtitles?
Yeah, I never watched. I learned a long time ago not to watch foreign films that are dubbed. Watch the subtitled version of it for a lot of reasons, but first and foremost is that whoever is doing the dubbing for any of the actors, they almost always, intentionally or not, change the tone of the performance because you lose all those vocal inflections when somebody dubs in, and sometimes it's like watching somebody just read a bad book report from high school. So I have no idea what the actual dub version of this film sounds like, and I'm glad I
Well,
don't. But
well, you
I,
say that, but in this particular case, it's actually very good. The voices match up really well. Like I had no problem watching this
yeah,
in the dub version. Um, just I think the story, of course, I don't know what the story was for you, but for me, we'll just kind of briefly gloss over this because it's a quick
yeah,
and dirty, not a full-on review. But basically, this girl gets a phone call from another girl. She comes to find out is from a girl in the past. They have some interactions. At first, the girl at the other end is friendly from the past, but she turns out to be a little crazy and, and,
yeah.
and shit gets fucking real. Shit gets unreal. Um, I thought the time travel aspect of this was not time travel, but time.
Alteration.
Yes,
Yeah.
was handled very well. It was linear. There's no divergent anything. Anything that happened immediately affected the future. I thought that was good. I thought that was solid. Um, I like the acting in it and the dubbing worked really well. My only real critique really is too many endings. I,
Yeah. I
I would have been satisfied with the quote unquote happy ending. I didn't necessarily need the little extras, but I guess they kind of left that there for sequel bait.
well, I wouldn't say that it was sequel bait. I would actually say that they kind of did exactly the opposite of that. They kind of like made sure that there's nothing is following this. You did watch the after credit sequence, right?
Yeah. I mean, I believe at the end, the girl finished off the girl in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and there was the sheep. Yeah. Anyway, not to get too spoilery with it, but the movie has it's an interesting premise. Um, it's see, and I went in like knowing nothing about this movie. So for
Same
me,
here.
I was like, okay, what the hell am I watching here? I didn't know if this was like a drama or a horror film. I didn't know if we were going for the Notebook or The Ring. I didn't know where to stand on this one. So I appreciate that because I like movies that play with my expectations but get there organically, and this definitely did that. I really appreciated the fact that it starts off and they're friendly and they're conversing about things that happened, and you're thinking like the girl in the future is trying to warn the girl in the past that something terrible is going to happen to her, and that's kind of what kicks this whole thing off. And again, I don't want to get too deep into it, and I don't want to spoil anything because I think the less you know going in, the more you're going to like it. The performances are super strong, but I will also tell you that if you don't pay attention, you're going to get lost really fast, right at about the 35-40 minute mark on this one, because you're going to see characters that are disappearing and reappearing, and again, if you're not focused. So put your phone down, put your iPad down, whatever you got, turn it on, watch the film. It's a solid suspense. I don't know that I could call this a horror film. I would definitely call it a solid thriller, suspense thriller.
Absolutely a thriller.
And it's kind of got some elements of Looper in it. That's kind of what the whole changing time aspect of this film really reminded me of, was that, something would have been done in the past and it changes things in the present while you're watching it. So I again dug that aspect of it. If you like time travel films, if you like horror films, if you like mysteries, I think this is a solid watch. I definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, I absolutely recommend this as well. It's right up there for me with like Train to Busan. If you completely different movies, but if you like Train to Busan, I think you'll like this.
The other thing is that you can tell that 2 years from now, inevitably, there's going to be the U.S. remake of The Call, so that you don't have to read the subtitles. But I very seriously doubt that they're going to get a cast as strong or as talented as this. And the other thing that scares me about that idea is that you're going to get some horror junkie director that's going to gore it up and really change the tone of it. So for this one, I don't know if there's going to be a U.S. remake, but I think it's pretty inevitable. But
well, you say that it's not. I mean, it's restrained gore, but there is gore and there's violence, but it's restrained violence. I mean, it's all there. I mean, it's borderline horror. I mean, it really rides that bleeding edge of what I would consider horror.
It's like I said, it's kind of a mishmash of a couple different genres. It's hard to categorize this one because it so seamlessly falls into so many, but it's got elements of other genres as well. And I think that's actually why this was such a strong movie, was because you can't just peg it as, oh, it's a horror flick. But like I said, if somebody tries to do a U.S. remake of this, because it can be done on the cheap, you could do a remake of this film for $10 million.
Oh, easy, very easily.
But they're going to cut it for a PG-13, so you're going to miss out like all that stuff, and then they're also going to try to amp it up at the same time. And I just think that it's going to lose something if somebody tries to do anything other than what's already shot on film.
Here's the bonus: is the fact that the dubbing is pretty damn good. So you don't have to subtitle if you don't want to. If you want to watch it with the subtitles like Tony did, you can do that as well. So I mean, you can pick your flavor, whatever you want to do. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, definitely a recommend for me. It's a fun, engaging watch. It's definitely worth the click. And it's our first foreign film that we've actually reviewed for this. So there you have it. There you are. Anything else?
Who knew it'd take a foreign movie to knock out of the park the first time for us?
It's definitely one of the most entertaining films that we've watched this summer, and there's no qualifiers on that one. I mean, there have been so many big budget duds this summer, and this was genuinely entertaining in the creepiest way. So, but just make sure that if you watch this, that when the credits start rolling, don't stop. Keep watching. There's a mid-credit scene that wraps the whole thing up. And if you watch it and you have any thoughts about it, throw them in the comments below, because I would love to hear some different takes on this, because
Dude,
we had a
yes.
really involved conversation after the film was over here with Karen and the boys, and it was like, okay, well, what do you think that meant? So it's a fun movie to pick apart and analyze too. There's a lot going on, but yeah, give it a go.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys for part 2 of Quick and Dirty International. And we'll see you guys then.